Welcome back to the NFL Draft Bible Player Spotlight Show. I am your host, Chris Shanafelt, bringing you the names that you need to know first since 2002. Visit NFLDraftBible.com, and we are now joined by one of the top offensive linemen in all of Division II football. Spent some time at the FCS level at South Dakota State. He's an Oak Lawn, Illinois native. He is Joe Kupcikevicius, 6'5", right tackle out of Azusa Pacific. In Southern California. And Joe, really appreciate you taking some time this afternoon. How's everything going?
Good. Hey, appreciate you having me.
All right, so I mentioned in the opening, Joe, you've kind of bounced around a bit. You're from Oak Lawn, initially out of high school, Richards High School. You went to South Dakota State, and then you took the JUCO route, and now here you are coming out of Azusa Pacific, again, in Southern California. There's been some guys that have come out of that school and have made it to the NFL level before. Talk a little bit about this journey and ultimately how you wound it up at Azusa Pacific.
Oh yeah, it's been a crazy journey, man, and just when a lot of adversity happened, things didn't work out at South Dakota State. Just kind of just staying persistent, knowing I wanted to continue playing football. Just kind of just chasing that dream still, and didn't really give up. So, I mean, it was kind of just play football at all costs, do what I have to do, make the moves that I need to make. And luckily it just all worked out and for the best. And, I'm happy to be where I'm at Azusa Pacific.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, you played in one of the, or you were at South Dakota State in one of the tougher divisions, really in all of college football, if you ask me, the Missouri Valley. I mean, you could even put that up there with some of the Power 5 conferences in terms of toughness and really overall talent and depth in that conference. Really one of the better conferences in all of football. Playing in there and then going down to the Division II level. I mean, was the competition level, did you really notice much of a hit at when it comes to talent overall?
Maybe just a little bit. One thing though I know is the game is pretty much always the same, and just maybe just the speed or whatever will change, but I know the techniques, the series of the play, they're all the same. And if you can play, you can play. That's something I've always been told. So it's not something I'm concerned about going to the next level, but it's something I'm curious about as well. Is just the different speeds of the game. So we'll see how I do at the next level. But yeah, D2, coming out of D2, a lot of guys, might question how tough it is, but I'm confident that I can play well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And you were able to showcase it a little bit at the Tropical Bowl a couple months back. What was that whole experience like, coming from a Division II program, going up against guys that are from the, Power 5 conferences, from Alabama and so on and so forth? What was that whole experience like, and what did you take away from it?
Well, yeah, that just, proved to myself that I can't hang with these guys, and I thought I did pretty solid over there. So, it was a good confidence booster going in to my pro day.
What was were you able to meet with any scouts, or how do you kind of feel teams are viewing you as leading up to the draft now here?
Well, I talked to a couple scouts. I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm not really sure what my stock is looking like exactly, but just any opportunity I get, I'll make the most of it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And did your pro day already pass, or are we still working?
It's coming up March 20th.
Okay, and where will that be at?
It's going to be at Azusa Pacific.
Okay, all right, sounds good. And where have you been training for your pro day? I know your agent Hector said you've been getting in work with Jackie Slater. How's that all going?
Oh yeah, it's good. Jackie has me out. We do a lot of O-line drills here and there. I've been fortunate enough to be invited out with him and some pro players that he trains.
Mm-hmm.
Then it comes like weightlifting, conditioning, recovery, all that. I train with my guy Justin at Creating Monsters, and just getting in good shape, man. It's in the best shape of my life right now, and getting better every day. So.
Joe, when did it kind of hit you that you were going to give this thing a go, that you were going to try and give this whole pro football thing a shot? When did it hit you that you had a legit shot at actually furthering on? Again, nothing's guaranteed. Again, you still have your pro day, and obviously that'll be a big part of it. But you know, at least as of now, you're going for you're going for your dream. And when did it all kind of hit you, though, that, you know, I have what it takes? And then, you know, like you said, you're kind of able to reaffirm that at the Tropical Bowl, playing against some of the top talent in the country. When in your college career did you know that you're going to give this thing a shot?
Yeah, that's a good question. So yeah, in high school, you know, I didn't really take ball too seriously. I wanted to play D1 ball, you know, at the best, and didn't really have too many dreams of going pro. But I'd say around my freshman year at Mount Sac in the JUCO, where, you know, I was a starter. We were winning a lot of games, winning championships, and I was getting a lot of looks from big time D1 schools and offers, and that's kind of where, you know, I really thought it's a possibility that I could play pro ball.
And coming out of the JUCO ranks, you were one of the top offensive linemen coming out that year. When teams or when somebody turns on your film, Joe, what are going to be a few of the first things that really stands out to them? What are a couple of your strengths that you bring to the offensive line?
Well, yeah, I think a lot of the strengths that I actually bring are things you can't really see on film, which is kind of just leadership, smarts, awareness, kind of just I would say basically my like mental aspect of the game is where my strengths are. But then you know, that's a huge part of the game. Obviously, is just being a focused, locked in kind of guy. You know, that's what Jackie Slater would preach. But on top of that, you know, knowing what you're doing at all times, technique-wise and schematically wise, and then on top of that, just kind of my size, my speed, and I think you know, I match up athletically with these guys. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, like you said, I mean, you, especially for an offensive lineman, you have to be there mentally and really just take it one play at a time. I mean, if you go off sides on one play, just forget about it, move on to the next one. If you allow a sack or, you know, you allow a defender to get into the backfield and take the running back down for a loss of yards, just gotta forget about it, move on to the next play. Like you said, mentally, that's a really big part about the playing offensive line. So I really like that answer. Is there any current or former NFL players that you really like to watch and kind of take bits and pieces of their game and add it onto your own?
I would say currently, I'm a big fan of Tyron Smith over in Dallas. Guy is just a monster, physically and technically. And then, obviously, Jackie Slater is one of the guys I look up to. He just embodies what a professional athlete is and how they should approach the game. So I really like those two guys. And Jackie Slater is just a huge influence on me. Just having that Hall of Famer, you know, just speaks with such conviction to you. You know, you just can't help but get motivated around him. So that's my guy for sure.
Hey, no doubt about it. You can't get any better than learning from a Pro Football Hall of Famer such as Jackie Slater, and you know what he brought to the game. And then, as you mentioned, Tyron Smith. I mean, that guy gives out pancakes every day, twice on Sundays. So you certainly cannot go wrong with either of those two guys. Again, especially a former or a current Pro Football Hall of Famer in Jackie Slater. I mean, you know, what advice has he given you? I mean, has he given you any advice? You know, not so much when you guys are training, but, you know, looking, and you don't want to look too far ahead, but has he given you any advice as to, you know, kind of how he went through the draft process and now you're going through it yourself? Has he given you any pointers as you go through this process?
Yeah, I think Jackie really loves just he thinks you'll be fine in the game as long as you do the techniques right and everything. And that's one thing he kind of told me is nobody's gonna be doing it better than you. They might be bigger, athletic, but nobody's gonna be like doing the techniques and like the footwork better than you. Like you got all the tools and everything. So it's kind of something that stuck with me at least is just everything he's teaching me actually does work and it's paying off obviously. So
Well, yeah, again, I mean, that's got to be great to have a guy like that in your corner, no doubt about it. And obviously, I mean, you know, growing a relationship with your agent Hector, I mean, it seems like you certainly have the right people in your corner. Final question for you, Joe. Then we'll let you go. Really appreciate you taking some time this Sunday afternoon. Let's say we have all 32 NFL general managers. They're tuned into this very interview. Why should they want you a part of their team? Why should they want you a part of their offensive line? How are you going to make them better and ultimately reaching their goal into hopefully winning a Super Bowl?
yeah, I think I'm ready. I think I'm mature. I was trained for this, and I'm a guy that goes into work every day, doesn't complain. Uh, just a tough kid, and really don't complain about anything. And I'm just ready to make an impact on a franchise, whatever I could do to get in the starting lineup.
Hey, sounds great, Joe. Wishing you all the best, and thank you very much for taking some time this afternoon, man.
All right, appreciate you having me.